I'm sitting at the railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned, or so it should be, for a poet and a one-man band. So, I've just done 5.5 hours. I should have only done 5 hours. But it wasn't clear where I should get off. And so, I didn't get off where I should have got off. So I travelled another half an hour in the wrong direction. And now I'm waiting an hour. I'm going to go back another half an hour, and so I'll do total like 7 hours on the train today. But the moral of this story, people, and it's what brought about my most viewed video ever, and it was the video where I said, watch this video before you take psychedelics. And so what happens, we all know what happens when, for instance, look, what happened to me. I'm standing ready to go out of the door. We just came to a stop and it was announced Coimbra B. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've seen on the ticket there's Coimbra B and there's Coimbra A, and I asked the lady I'm renting this room from, where should I get off, A or B, and she says, oh, A, and so I'm assuming that you stay on the same freaking train. But no, you're supposed to change trains. Well, I didn't know that. And so the train moves off, and I'm thinking, well, you know, Coimbra A and Coimbra B can't be that far apart. You know, so 5 minutes goes by, the train's getting pretty fast. 10 minutes goes by, it's getting faster. 15 minutes goes by, and we go out into the fields and the bushes again. And I'm like, I don't like the feel of this. And so the conductor comes by, and he said, you wanted Coimbra, didn't you? And I went, yeah, Coimbra, not B. And he said, well, you know, you have to get off there. So anyway, then what happens to the body? This is the point of the video, people, because there's something happens, and it's a variance of magnitude of disappointment and dread and resentment and kicking yourself and negative internal dialogue. Goodness me, where will it end? And for how long would we have to experience that if we went with it? Now, for instance, if I was going to continue with my negative feelings, which I'm projecting onto it, then I'd still be feeling it now. I'd be going, fuck, 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 fuck. I'm waiting around, oh, fuck, fuck, fuck. But, you know, so I'm an old dog as far as all this travelling stuff goes, and so I've learnt my lesson a long, long time ago. And so I'm just like, okay, well, the conductor's gone now, right up through the carriage and out the other end, and so I can't ask him how long I've got to wait before the next stop. And so I just said to myself, okay, let's say an hour then. Can't be more than an hour. All right, and I just like slipped into a bit of a meditation and thought, you've just got to let it go. That's the thing. You have to let it go entirely, and I'll travel however far it is, I'll wait however long it is, I'll travel back again, so what? I thought to myself, you're just being, Aaron. You've not got no meeting to attend to whereby if you don't show up you're gonna lose thousands of pounds, or you're really gonna be a disappointment to all the other people that are expecting you there. Nobody's expecting me really at any specific time. There's a little old lady that's got some sort of expectation that I'm going to be showing up today. That's all. And so what have I got to get rink about? And so if you look at these scenarios and you correlate them then to other scenarios like anger. If somebody pushes in front of you in a queue, ooh, but you know how this can have an effect upon you. It happened to me the other day in a shop. And so there's an American couple standing in front of me, and they both kept turning around and having a look at me like this, probably because they're looking at the fucking beard. You know, it was more in dread twists, and so they knew I was next in line. And then what happened is about the 14-year-old girl just ended up between us. And when the American couple were just about to leave, they were packing up their bits and bobs of shopping into a bag, and the American girl, she looked at the young girl, and then she looked at me as if to say, "You were next, weren't you?" And I just winked like that, and she just smiled. Well, so what? Really, you know, these things shouldn't bother us, people. If somebody knocks your beer over in the boozer, if they replace it, great, but even if they don't, what's the big deal? It's like $3 or £3, £2, something like this. These things are just not worth carrying the weight over, and they're most definitely not worth enter into a scene about, "What, you knocked my beer over, you're going to buy me a new one, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Or, little girl, you just pushed in front of me. Oh, I'm sorry." You know, drama. And so we just let it go, don't we? You know, within reason. I think there's certain principles that we should stand by, you know, when people take liberties with us. But if you miss the turning on the motorway, that's the classic one. We've all done that one. And you've got to go 20 miles. And it's kind of like, particularly when you're on the way to the freaking airport, and you're panicking then, you know, you're going to miss your flight, because that is a big deal, because you've paid, you know, 700 quid for your flight. You know, you probably won't be able to go again tomorrow or the next day. You may have to even wait a week. What a spanner in the works that is. And so it's very, very natural to get an amount of angst about that. But what can you do about it? This is the thing. How does feeling and generating the angst get you anywhere? It doesn't. All it's going to make you do is make more mistakes. And so we just got to let it go and accept these things. Find a level of acceptance. And so, I mean, for me, I'm just like, I just thought, well, I'm just going to stare at this train track. And if I stare at it long enough, then I'm going to be starting to notice more things about it. You know, just like I do in the bushes or woods or in the ocean or on the beach, whatever. Use that time in a constructive way. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just gazing around, and every now and again a thought of times when I've been standing on platforms waiting for trains, many other times. They spring to mind, and you go, well, it's not as bad as that time. I had to keep all through the night on a freaking cold bench on the platform, and it was winter. I never slept a freaking wink. I was freezing the balls off, and I was just pleading for the morning to come. It's not like that. It's beautiful sunshine. I've got some food in my bag. It's all good. And so, people, whenever we start to feel agitated or afraid, even if you start feeling afraid about something, just stop yourself. Hang on. Is there really anything to be afraid of? Should I be feeling afraid? Am I in potential danger? Do I have to be on red alert to look out if I'm going to be attacked or something's going to happen to me? No. Well, just relax then. Just chill. Just address the fear. Ask yourself, is it real? How real is it? And okay, so if you still remain afraid of it, then just ask yourself, well, what's the worst scenario that could come out of this? Well, you might end up being late for work, or you might end up getting the sack. Well, whatever, people, really, at the end of the day, because if your boss doesn't understand, then it's inevitable, isn't it? It's going to happen sometime, so it may as well happen sooner or later. So you just go, okay, what the fuck? You know, the boss wants to get rid of me, he's only waiting for one little excuse, so this is it. Let it be. Otherwise, how are you going to be at work? You're going to be on tenterhooks, aren't you? You're going to be thinking, oh, is this the day he's going to let me go? Oh, is tomorrow the day? Oh, what if I do something wrong next week? Or something like this. Anyway, I've laboured it enough, people. You know what I'm saying. So, I'm going to go and stare at those railway lines. Look at those railway lines enjoying themselves. Come a little bit closer. Don't you just love it, though? Don't you just love it? Being. Just being, people. We're just being. Being in the sun. Being breathing. Being walking. I'm not 94 years old yet. I can still do a little bit. And so there's so many things to be positive about. And I say to my daughter, don't focus on all this negative shit. Before you know it, your life will be over. And you'll go, not much of a life I had. Those were some of the last words I remember from my old man. As he's sitting there in deep contemplation, smoking his little nasty roll-ups. It's not been much of a life, Aaron. And he was a pessimist. And so he created his own negativity everywhere he went. And so don't be like that. Be a positivist and always look on the bright side. And whenever you get yourself in a little bit of a sticky-wation, that's the new one. I should coin that word and put it in the fucking dictionary. A sticky situation. Just start whistling